In a sandwich, as a topping, or all by itself, cheese has always been a popular food. This dairy product goes back thousands of years, and it's always started with three basic ingredients: milk, curds, and whey. Just ask Little Miss Muffet. Like all cheeses, mozzarella starts from milk. To assure good milk quality, the interior and exterior of milk transport trucks must be washed after being emptied. A tank such as this one can carry an average of 8,000 gallons of raw milk at temperatures between 37 and 39 degrees Fahrenheit. Raw milk destined for cheese making contains 3.8% fats and 3.3% proteins. They store the milk and whey, a milk byproduct, in these immense silos, each with a capacity of 59,000 gallons. This milk separator extracts surplus cream to adjust the percentage of fat according to the type of cheese to be made. Fabrication begins with this tank, which feeds the pasteurizer. Pasteurization sterilizes beverages which can easily ferment. Milk samples are drawn off to accurately determine their milk fat and protein content. Tests are carried out in this laboratory where they impose controls. These test tubes contain milk samples which will undergo microbiological analysis. Milk quality must be impeccable. This is a curdler with a capacity of 6,600 gallons. Here, milk and other essential ingredients are introduced, such as the enzyme rennet that curdles the milk. This mix must be well stirred and cooked. The agitators are used to cut the whey into little lumps. This step takes about 30 minutes. The temperature of the tanks depends on the type of cheese they're making. Agitators continue stirring the milk. Once cooking is done, the whey is pumped onto tables to be drained. It stays there for about 25 minutes. The solid and the liquid are now well separated. The liquid we see draining is called the lactose serum. The lactose serum will be concentrated and transformed into milk byproducts. The water has been almost entirely extracted, and the cheese particles are now sufficiently dry. This large automated blade then moves cheese particles toward the next step, the molder. In the molder, the cheese is cut up before being carried to the cooker, the final processing step. It appears that this mozzarella has just the right texture. The cheese finally arrives at the molder, which will give it the proper shape. Each mold has a 5.5-pound capacity and is rectangular. Brine, a salt solution, cools and salts the cheese blocks. The blocks are unmolded and fall into a brine tank. The cheese blocks will remain in another brine solution for a while. Then they're carried by a conveyor towards another tank, where they will be immersed for 4 to 10 hours at a temperature of 36 degrees Fahrenheit. Sprays of brine remove the foam, which forms at the surface of the tank. The 8,000 gallons of milk we saw coming in by truck at the beginning have enabled the factory to produce 1,400 blocks of cheese in 8 to 12 hours. Finally, the cheese blocks are vacuum packed and ready for shipment.